All right, NYB community, welcome back. Entrepreneurship, real estate, trending news. There's no business like minding your own. I'm your host, Champ Ron, once again here for episode number 189 of the Minding Your Business podcast. Subscribe, five star, wherever you get your pods. Helps us continue to connect with more great people just like yourself. I'm excited about today's guest that's joining here for episode number 189. Tremendous business owner. He's the founder of A1 Garage Doors. They're in the kind of Phoenix, Arizona area and then beyond. You're talking about a gentleman that leads an organization that he built from scratch to over 30 million a year. With north of over 200 employees. And that's not easy to do, MYB, in a very competitive landscape in the industry that he's in. So that takes a lot of guts and probably some bloodshed and that sort of thing. Tears are cried, but a lot of great joys as well. And so he's also invested in other businesses as well, over 13 other businesses that he's invested in. You can find him in different publications from Forbes and the Huffington Post, Entrepreneur, and Inc. magazine. So my guest today is Tommy Mello. Tommy, thank you so much, man, for joining. I appreciate it. I know you're hyped up with a lot of great things going, and thank you for joining here on a Friday.
Hey, man, let's do this. I am excited. I got a lot to say. So I always
Awesome.
said, listen more than you talk, but we'll do a lot of
No.
talking here.
Well, no, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of talking today. So let's jump into it, man. Tell us about yourself and kind of how you got to where you are today.
Oh, boy. Well, I grew up in Michigan, and
What part of
I had
Michigan?
a transmit Sterling Heights, so a little outside of Detroit, about an hour.
Gotcha.
And my dad owned a transmission shop. He did okay when I was a kid. My
Yeah.
mom ended up being a realtor. They got a divorce, and she ended up working 3 jobs and just hustled.
There you
Very,
go.
very good upbringing, though. I have no complaints. I'm not a victim. I just learned how to work really, really hard. My mom busted her butt. My dad busted his butt. So
Yeah.
I got a job when I was 12 washing dishes. I mowed lawns. I shoveled snow, whatever I could to earn a buck.
Yeah.
Learn how to hustle. I'd say
There you
about
go.
5 years ago, I learned to make money when I don't work.
There
And
you
I
go.
think that's the secret to success. So I'm in the garage door industry. I love lead generation, but the last 6 months has taught me more about culture and leadership and hiring amazing people
Yeah.
because the leads come
Very
in with
important.
the right people. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've invested in a lot of business. I wrote a book called The Home Service Millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
So this book has 12 co-authors. The CEO of Service Titan, the COO of Home Advisor, the CEO of Valpak. You learn everything from how to do a financial quick check to how to find the right reason to start a business, figuring out your why, hiring a player, stuff like that. But I've been very, very fortunate. I got to thank JC every day because he takes care of me.
There you go. I love that, JC. Your buddy JC.
That's
Yep.
right.
I love that, man. Yeah, coming out of the that Detroit area, man, hustling. How do you get out to Arizona? I mean, what gets you out there?
Well, my dad's father, my grandpa, retired in Lake Havasu City in 1977 from Royal Oak, Michigan. So a lot of
Yeah,
the family kind of ended up out there and migrated over to Phoenix. And then I
gotcha.
ended up getting a master's degree in 2012 from the University of Arizona, which
Awesome.
I didn't learn a lot. I learned some stuff, but I learned how to network a lot better. And I hung out with the right crowd, and I learned a lot about search engine optimization and how to get found on Google.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we spend north of $500,000 a month in marketing. So
Wow.
I love marketing and I love sales. And sales is not a bad word. I'm
No,
very
not at
good at it,
all.
and I like to sell people. But I tell people, I'm going to do for you what I would do for my own mom. And that's the honest to God truth. And I'm going to do what's right for your situation. And I always tell people, I diagnose the person before I diagnose the problem.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
it treated us really, really well. We're up to about 265 employees. I'll be over 500 by the end of the year. We've got
Wow.
3 full-time recruiters, 4 full-time trainers. We've got an LMS. I'm running 16 softwares for the company. So we're a technology company that happens to do garage doors. And I
There you
love
go. Yeah, I was gonna say that you're a sales technology company. Yeah, that you just so happen that's the industry that you're in. That's the product that you sell per se, the product and service. But yeah, you're a sales kind of tech company.
That's it.
Yeah, so that's tremendous. Yeah, that's tremendous, Tommy, man. As so walk me through the early days of building the business. So, where's the idea for A1 come into play? And, walk me through and kind of unpack for us a little bit, man, what those early days were like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotcha. The worst, I didn't know anything. I lost a lot of money. I had people stealing from me. I had a business
Oh,
partner
man.
in 2007 to 2010, and that didn't go very well. So I bought him out in 2010, basically took on a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And if I could go back to myself, the early days, I would have told myself to be a little bit more planned, to learn about key performance indicators, to learn about manuals, to give people a playbook on how to succeed. Because a lot of us, and including myself, I always thought I couldn't hire great people. No one was good until I
Yeah.
looked in the mirror and said, I'm not setting them up for success. So now every
Mm,
single person
I
here is
like
on
that.
performance pay. So we do
Yeah.
performance pay. I give them a manual, which is the playbook. And then
Right.
my dashboards, I've got 4 monitors here. My dashboards are my key performance indicators, is the scoreboard.
Right.
And I've got people answering phone calls to book appointments that are making over $30 an hour. I've
Mm,
got other people because it's a performance pay. So if they are above a 95% booking rate, they get about $7.50 per booked phone call. So
wow.
if they book over 4 calls per hour, they're making $30. It's easier to recruit. And I hire winners.
Yeah.
Losers, they can't exist here. I don't pay
Yeah.
them enough to want to stay and work for me. Winners make
Yeah.
a lot of money. And one of
Yeah.
my core values is aspire to be number one, right there. The second
Love
one.
it. I love
I
it.
only hire people that are competitive that want to win. And
Yeah.
my guys hate, there's two type of people in this world. Those who hate to
Hmm.
be last and those who need to be number one. And I
Right.
like the latter.
There you go. I love that. No, I love the the persistence. I love that perspective of building your company around performance. And so you're not paying people just for fluff. You're paying everything's tied to some level
Metrics,
of some kind
everything.
of KPI. Yeah.
It's tied to it. And there's no such thing as um, tenure at my company. I don't care if you've been here 20 years. I don't do annual reviews. You get reviewed every day.
Right.
And your review is what you get paid, and everybody's looking out for one another. Um, I want to be $1 billion company. So
Yeah.
I wrote down $1 billion on my whiteboard and I reverse engineered it. I said, what does my average guy need to make? Right now, it's a little over $500,000 as far as revenue collected. So I said, I need 2,000 technicians. And I said, okay, how many do I need in a year? How many do I need in a quarter? How many do I need in a month? How many do I need next week? So next Monday, I have
Hmm.
36 guys coming in. My goal
Yeah.
is to have 70 a month, 70 new technicians per month. And I'll
Yeah.
be $1 billion company within 4 years.
Wow. Excellent. How did you, Tommy, avoid, let me play on the other side. How do you avoid that competitiveness, hurting the company? Meaning, because you talked about, the culture within your company of people working together, man, which I loved. How do you keep, and I'm thinking about some of my own experience in leadership, how do you keep that ultra competitiveness from being kind of every man for him or herself and, not thinking about the greater good?
Well, the way that I define it is if I take my revenue and a percentage of revenue to put into marketing, we'll use 10% and we'll say
Yeah.
$1 million. So I'm going to spend $100,000 total on the year divided by 12. If you succeed at converting the call, and my guys can succeed at not only conversion rate, but the average ticket's high enough.
Yeah.
And all we're doing is offering customers good things like bottom rubber to keep the bugs out, or openers that you can control from your phone. So if you forget to close it,
Right.
uh, everybody wins as that goes up because I can spend more money. So
Hmm.
I'm very clear to say these guys and gals, they look after one another. It's crazy how much they care.
Yeah.
And, it's not uncommon for us. My goal is always to be 20% profit because revenue is for vanity and
Right.
profit for sanity is what I say.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
a lot of people brag all the time. I mean, it's on my
Revenue.
book, 30 million 2 years ago. This year we'll do a little over 50. But people brag all the time about revenue. They just don't keep it. And I've learned me and my CFO worked really, really hard together, and he came in from a $450 million company. So he's taught me a lot, but he taught me really how to keep a little bit more of what we kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I got to be profitable. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, everybody understands we're out to succeed, but I always ask people, I mean, it's all in the recruiting. It takes me 500 people to find one good one. So
Yeah.
I get 500 applicants a day. I paid out
Wow.
$65,000 in referral fees this month.
Wow.
So
Excellent. But it makes sense because the people that are coming into your organization, one, like you say, they're winners. So right off top, they're people that, desire to win. They have to win. There's no other choice, right? For themselves. You don't have to instill that in them. They come already with that mentality.
yep.
And then, like you said, you develop the playbook. I mean, obviously, we're thinking of the sports analogies, right? You're bringing in, top level talent, and you're giving them a playbook, but they have to come already wanting to win. You can't teach, playing hard and doing the right things and having the right behaviors, right? They have to already come with that. And then what you're providing is a playbook from them to be owners, even within the world that and the role that you have them in. And that's what I kind of see, as you talked about adding, kind of additional teammates to your team there, Tommy. And by the end of the year being at 500,
Yep.
to me, I see them as almost like 500 little mini owners within your team, and they have this conglomerate. So it's almost like they're almost like little franchisees. I mean, they can make as much money as they want. You've given them the playbook, but they make as much or as little as they want based on their effort and their execution of the playbook.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great way to look at it. I mean, these guys, they're and gals, I mean, they're just the people. I'm very fortunate, like I said, I've been very, very fortunate to have the team that we have, and they're
Yeah.
all just. I've got guys right now, technicians that will do $2 million of revenue this year, and
Yeah.
they're call takers. Literally, people call them up because they want to use them on HOA presidents, and we sell really nice high end doors to a lot of people, but most companies don't do over $1 million with 5 technicians. I've got certain guys that do over double that. So,
Yeah.
like I said, is these guys are hustlers. They get out there, they meet customers. We give customers what they want. My goal is to make all my customers raving fans.
There you go. Yep.
Raving
Love that. Yep. There you go. Yep. Yep. I see. Obviously, you're an avid reader. You're an author, of course. So that definitely, almost by definition, is going to make you an avid reader. So that's a good one too. Raven Fast is a tremendous book.
Readers are leaders,
There
and
you. Hey.
I think that was the biggest thing. Is my CPA handed me a book in 2007 called "The E Myth Revisited" with Michael Gerber. I actually
Yes.
had him on my podcast about 2 months ago. So I read
Yeah.
that book, and then I went back and I returned it to him, and he gave me another book called The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. And
Yes.
that's the Red Bible is what I call that one. And then I went back and he gave me another book called The Richest Man in Babylon. And when I brought that one back, I became hooked. I became
Wow.
hooked on reading. And since then, I probably am dissolving a few books a week. But I've got a lot of books and I love books, but I also love Audible. And I'll just show you here what I'm
Yeah.
up
God, 865. Golly, man.
to.
You're rolling. How do you have time to do all that reading and run a company like that?
I don't have to run anything. This company runs itself. I could leave for a month and we'll set a record when I'm gone.
Yeah.
I am the gasoline on the I'm pushing the gas. I'm the visionary, I'm the dreamer.
Right.
And I'm a bottleneck finder. I always tell people I live on Mars
Yeah.
and Earth is the business. And I kind of just look at it and see the biggest bottlenecks and holes. There was a time that it needed me, but my job was to work myself out of a job, and I've done that.
Yeah.
And my next job is to get this to $1 billion. And no one's ever done that before in this type of business.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a very segmented business. You've got just a gazillion players all over the place, from the individual guy that's the DIY guy to the guys that are on your team, right? And
Well,
so
here's what's cool about it is I'm pretty
that's
good
awesome.
at growing organically. I've got an amazing advertising philosophy that just we make the phone ring off the hook, and I do think it's about the people, and we do background checks and drug tests. We make sure we hire people that are going to be big into the community, that want to give back, that we're involved in a lot of charity and time giving, but ultimately, here's what's super cool. This is what
Yeah.
keeps me up at night. I could buy a garage door company for about 3 times EBITDA, which means profit. 3 to 4 times is what most of them would sell for.
Sure.
The day I buy them, I'm the platform company. I'm worth 12 times. Then I overlay my KPIs, increase their booking rate, reduce their rent. I have a better buy rate with my distribution centers. I have a higher conversion rate. You look at everything. Not only am I worth 4 times more the day I buy them, but I could quadruple them again. So I'm worth 16. I give a buck, I get 16 back.
Right.
And it's
which you'll do all day long.
Well, it's mind-boggling. It's literally, it feels like I'm dealing drugs or something, because how do you get $16 from a buck?
Right.
So my ultimate goal is to just start consuming companies.
Yeah.
And it's not even fair. I literally, I'm like, how did I learn this stuff? How did I learn what an EBITDA multiple and KPIs? I don't know where I picked it up. I've had a lot of good consultants, a lot of good books, a lot of good podcasts, but it's almost unfair, you know?
Yeah. And so, Tommy, how did let's stay on this point and unpack this a little bit, because there are a lot of people that are listening to this that want to scale their business to that level. They want to be able to get, where they might have been working in the workforce. Now they've created their own job. Right. And so they're not, but the job, everything on it's predicated on them. Right. If they go somewhere for a week, everything ceases. Right. Till they come back. And they want to, I think there are a lot of people listening to this that want to get from that to where you are. They want to be able to buy back their time, and they want to be able to be the visionary and actually run the business as the visionary, as opposed to having to, it kind of reminds me of the old Looney Tunes cartoons where Daffy Duck's doing everything with his hands and his feet. And, he's trying to play the drums. He's trying to wash dishes. He's doing all this stuff. Right. And I think there are a lot of people listening to this that are like that right now, particularly right now, with everything that's going on. So, how would you recommend people transition from, hey, I've got a vetted out, idea or a vetted out business, Tommy, but I want to get away from having to be there every day, every minute, and everything runs through me to, I can oversee it.
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a lot of work, because people hate the answer to this, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
You gotta, number one, you gotta be organized.
Yeah.
Number two, hire around your deficits. Number three is become a better time manager. I have an assistant that was just in here setting this up, who's much better at time management and organization. She cleans my vehicle. She keeps my desk set up. She goes through every email every day. So she's basically made me 10 times more effective. And then I've got an integrator, my COO, who does everything I can't do. And he's much better at a lot of things from day to day. Yeah. And then I hired a CFO that's been where I want to go. And so the ultimate goal is you've got to have a plan, and you got to write it down. And you need to create what's called an organizational chart of all the roles you need and who reports to who. And then start identifying how that role looks. I've got manuals for days. I've got 29 manuals right now. This one's for my field supervisor. It's 31 pages. So the manuals, you create the playbooks for each position, and you figure out how you're going to inspect what you expect.
Yes.
And then you build a depth chart, but you hire, you know who you're looking for. You know what the company likes. There's a vision, and the best way to do it, the best way to develop your vision is to go visit the number one company of what you want to be like. Find the number one person in that industry. Breathe the air they breathe. Get out of your comfort zone. And when you walk in that office, it's like a living organism. And it's fun. Smell the air and ask them, what was the biggest pain points when growing? What kind of software are you running?
Right.
What were the worst hires you've ever had, and why? Who's your vendors? Success follows success. So they leave clues. And if you ask the right questions, you can get the answers. I'm a technology company, so you got to get the right CRM. You've got to get someone that cares.
Absolutely.
And don't be cheap. Raise your damn prices. I'm sorry, but everybody should be, whatever you think's the right price, double it and add 10. I don't care. No one charges enough. We've got brand new computers. We've got brand new vehicles. We've got iPads for everybody. We've got Big Buck Hunter and Golden Tee. And we've got ping pong. We've got bags. We've got a basketball court. Everybody drives everything new. We keep the air conditioning super cold in the summer here in Arizona. And
of course.
And you know what? I went to dinner the other night and it was $980. I didn't pay because it was an advertising firm taking me out. But we went for the very, very nice steak dinners. It was absolutely phenomenal. I know we could have got that dinner for under $50 if we wanted to cook ourselves or go to another Applebee's.
Sure.
We're a very, very nice restaurant, and we had no problem. No one really cared about the price because we knew it was going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And people think you can't charge a lot of money, and I just think people want it done today. I'm competitive. Trust me, I'm competitive, but I carry better parts, so I've got good, better, best.
Yeah, so the value's better. Yeah, you tie the pricing to the value. Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely. So Tommy, let me. So for someone that's like you hustling outside of Detroit, Michigan, let's take me back. Take all both of us back to that guy, right? What would you give that same advice to him? Because I'm thinking about some of the people that may not have quite the level of funding, maybe. So they're listening to this and they're thinking
they're underfunded. They're a technician. Yeah. They say it's easy to be in business. I could do that. You don't understand when you start a business. You say, I'm a good technician. I know how to do that.
Right.
The problem is they don't know about culture. They don't know leadership. They don't know recruiting. They don't know finance. They don't know accounting. They don't understand how to create a manual. Right. I had to hire a lot of people to do what I have now. But I'll tell you this, any business out there, go visit somebody that's successful and then do it again every quarter and get out of your home state.
Right.
Get out of where you could be distracted. And like I said, there's a process and a standard operating procedure for everything. And the best way to start is with an activity log and write down from when you wake up, everything that you need to get done that day. Every time someone steals your time, every time there's an obstacle, every time someone asks you the same question, that's got to get added to the manual. And I've noticed that just people are unorganized. They got poor time management. They don't know how to hire around their weaknesses because they think they're good at everything, but they're not. I'm very
that's very true.
Things, and I fail a lot. I fail 99 times, but I get back up, and I don't make the same mistakes twice.
Right.
And I think that the definition of insanity is they continue to have the same problems every day, and they become firefighters. See, we don't have near the fires we've had because we built policies, standard operating procedures around everything.
Right. That's incredible advice because, and getting away from the distractions, I think is something MYB you should really take heed from what Tommy is saying. So sometimes you just got to get away from your home state, kind of your friend and family circle. Sometimes that can be a drain. To even begin to go down this pathway of what Tommy's explaining, which is, to be able to scale and kind of level yourself up by, putting the right people in the right positions, right, at the right time, right, and then be able to, Tommy used the term inspect what you expect, which is something, I've always shared with this audience, Tommy, just tremendously. So, I think that's going to help us all. Particularly as we're going through these current times, which I want to ask you because, in your business, with the current pandemic going on, obviously you're continuing to flourish. Why is that? With so many businesses struggling, with everything that's going on, right? All the madness, everything going on with the pandemic, why are you able to still flourish?
Well, there's times in the economy when there's huge fluctuations, the Great Depression, the housing crisis in 2007 and 8. Now we've got a pandemic in our hands. And there's very few winners, but the winners end up winning big. So I took this as an opportunity to change a lot of things. We worked very, very hard on the business. I tripled my marketing because I knew everybody else was getting out. TV was a fifth of the cost with 5 times the viewership. So I was getting 25%.
Absolutely. And I didn't want to talk over you right there, but that's absolutely it, man. That's absolutely it. People that, like you, that go when other people are getting out. I've talked to other business owners, and the successful ones have done exactly what you did. When everybody else was backing out of their marketing and everything, they ramped it up. And because everybody was at home, and like I said, you're kind of in this home services space, had more people at home. They're spending a lot of time there, of course, in their quarantine, and so they're consuming content all the time. You've probably seen this with your podcast. My podcast numbers jumped up tremendously in March, and coming through this whole summer.
I think we're roughly 22,000 a month, and it's gone up from 17 a month, 17,000.
Absolutely, and we're kind of seeing a similar increase in our numbers along those same regards, Tommy, man. And I mean, I had to jump in because I was like, yeah, I'm definitely with you there. The successful people have been getting in, boosting their marketing, increasing their views. The kind of that cost is going down, per view, and there's tremendous benefit in doing that. Again, if you're well positioned and have the knowledge and foresight to invest that way, man.
I mean, we grew. I'm not happy about the pandemic. I wanted to end, but it was as
Yeah,
far as what was in our control. I mean, we
yeah,
murdered it. We did. I got an 85-page case study on our own company on what we did. I
wow,
renegotiated every lease. I did so we did as a company. We literally came up with so many new things, and we attacked. We said
wow.
this is an opportunity when all Ray Kroc said it the best: when your competitors are drowning, stick a hose in their throat. And that's exactly what we did. And I said, hey, come work for me
Right,
if you want,
right.
but we're not going to. I love friendly competitors.
I like that.
We're, I'm trying to change this whole industry to like you're allowed to be a business owner. You're welcome to make 20%. I think 20% is a realistic number
Sure.
to make as a profitability after I make my own salary. So many business owners say, "Yeah, I did. I made 200,000 last year." I'm like, "Your company made zero. You paid
Right,
yourself. Your company's worth zero because it evolves around you." So the
right.
question I ask people is, "I'm going to take you and your wife and your kids and the dog. We're all going to Hawaii. I'm
Mm-hmm.
leaving tonight. You do not get to call back home and look at your business for one full month. I'm paying for everything, though. I'm going the volcano tours. We're going to swim with the dolphins. How does your business look on day 30 when you fly back in?" And
Right.
very few, I'm talking single digit percentages, have a business that could run itself without them.
Wow. That's and again. That's That goes back to my point from earlier. Is people wanting to know how did they get to that point? How did they transition? Because I think that's a lot of business in America. Particularly when you talk about small business, a lot of people, again, 30 days away from their business, can't do it. I mean, like I say, maybe not even talking about a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Some
no,
people,
it evolves around they work so hard in the business, they never get to work on it. I told my
right,
cousin 2 days ago, I said, dude, you might only have 15 minutes when you wake up to work on it, but next week you might have 30. And
right,
as you hire the roles that you're not good at and people could do better, if you figured out what I made per hour last month, it's ridiculously high. So I got to look at it and go, what's my time worth? What should
right.
I be doing
Yes,
right now? And so many people are a God a minute manager. They just allow people to invade their space and they never create the process. There's an exact process to everything we do. I've got checklists for everything. It's almost annoying how much that changed on how I write every single thing down. And there's I'm the thing I ask is why.
yeah,
I had a gal that wasn't doing an amazing job, and this was a week ago, and she was making some mistakes, not big mistakes. And I told my managers, there's 5 on my executive team. I said, hey, do me a favor real quick. Show me in the manual what she's supposed to be doing.
right.
And they go, well, this is a new role. We haven't built the manual yet. I said, well, who's working this weekend? Because she can't know how to do any better until we tell her what her day should look like and how to win the game.
Right.
And they developed a manual that weekend. Adam and
Wow.
Brian worked on it. They didn't like me that weekend, but did an amazing job. And now she's absolutely murdering it. She's phenomenal. We
Wow.
gave her the ability to be an A player, and she took it and ran with it.
There
But
you
a lot
go.
of times we say there's no good people out there. I say this: there's very few good owners that know how to lead in a way to bring out the best.
Yes.
Gamification, contests, really good things. We take the 5 love languages business test, and I find out what they want. Are they words of affirmation? Are they gifting? Are they time? Is it time spent with them? Some people want me to take them to lunch and just
Mm-hmm.
tell them they're doing good. Some
Yeah.
people never want to go to lunch. They want different things. So understanding, we do predictive index, we do the 5 love languages, we do a cognitive test. I mean, it's hard to get a job here.
Wow.
I don't tell people,
Yeah.
hey, good work. I say, congratulations, you made it through just to become a technician. We do an
Right.
interview through this thing called Spark Hire, where I ask 6 questions, and they've got to do a recording. And then that goes
Wow.
to our recruiter. Then they got to do the predictive index. Then they got to do the cognitive test. Then they got to do a real interview one-on-one. Then they got to do a ride along. And I've got a huge ride along for them. How often were they on social media? Did they smoke? Did they ask good questions? Were they on time? What does their vehicle look like? Did you look in their vehicle? What did it look like?
Yeah.
Then they get a job as an apprentice. That's a 3-week probationary period. Then I fly them to Phoenix for 6 weeks. My goal is to send them home if they're not 100% an amazing attitude.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to do all this stuff, and it's not easy to make it. I sent 2 guys home last week. They didn't have what it takes to be an A1 employee, which is the best in the industry, and we don't accept second best. So
yeah. Yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it. Hey, man, tell me about the podcast. Tell us a little bit. What's the name of it, and how can people find it and subscribe?
Home service expert, and I get really, really, really amazing business owners and authors on there. So like Ken Goodrich, he's a $150 million HVAC company. He talked to me about acquisitions. Michael Gerber talked to me about process. I had a guy that owns a really, really large window washing company. We talked a lot about how he trains his employees. So I'm always taking someone that's the best at what they do. I got one today at 2 p.m. with Al Levy. Al Levy is a co-author, and he is the guru at standard operating procedures and manuals. And he'll teach people what they need. Like every manual is going to say what our drug policy is. It talks about what you can wear, piercings, talks about what happens on sick days, how you get paid, PTO, every single thing you could want. I've got 80% of it in your manual. Yeah. So, we really talk about things that matter in business, and particularly the home service industry, although a lot of other industries have started to listen to it. But my goal is to be at 100,000 downloads a month here in the next 6 months.
Yeah, definitely. So what kind of initially got you into podcasting? Was it something that you always kind of been toying with and just kind of invested some in it, or did you?
I don't know.
Have a plan for it?
Like I said, I guess I said I got some stuff I want to share, and I really stunk at it at first. I'd be typing in the background of what they said and buying the book.
Right.
And, I learned a lot, though. I learned how to sell financing. The podcast, I got to tell you, is the number one thing for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Who are amazing, and they come on the podcast. They share every gold nugget they have.
Right.
And I get to ask anything I want. And these people, I'm telling you, they know how to sell financing. They know how to sell service agreements. They know how to make your company more valuable. They know how to make it work when you're not. Yeah. It's the number one thing in my life between podcasting and reading. Those two things have changed my life. And it's definitely, now I'm a keynote speech all the time. People ask me to come talk on stage and they pay me to do it. Yeah. They pay for the whole trip. Yeah. I'm not that cool, but if you want to pay me, I'll do it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm the same way in my industry, in the banking industry. That's, after coming out of it and working in it and developing, my practice now. And I've got a couple people. I'm mostly targeting the Midwest. So actually, I spend a lot of time in Michigan, in and around there between, kind of Detroit area, Dearborn, blah, 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 to Lansing, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids. I spent
I'll be there next week.
Yeah. So, and Lansing's where, of course, the banking association is that I work with. Shout out to Michigan Bankers Association. That's there in Lansing. They're a tremendous partner as well. But yeah, you're exactly right. Podcasting and what's interesting for me is the kind of the same thing. I sucked at it at first too. MYB knows if they go back and listen to my early episodes, they're like, "What the hell?" But it gets better. But yeah, you connect with these great people like yourself and many others that I've been able to connect with, and it's a great way to learn. It's a great way to share. It's a great way to connect, and it's been actually a lead generation for me. Which, I wasn't smart enough to think of it that way when I first started, Tommy.
Yeah.
But that's what it turned out to be. And it's my number one lead generation.
Well, tool. There's a guy I had, and this was about 4 podcasts ago. If you check out the Home Service Expert, and this guy teaches people how to start a podcast. They learn how to get clients. They learn how to use it as a lead generation tool. For me, I use it as a therapy session. Really, I don't need to make money with the podcast. Now, what I'm doing is I built a little program that I charge people but I
Sure.
use that money to build the staff to help build their business up. So it's not very profitable for me, but I enjoy doing it. And
Yeah.
I charge $697 a month, but for that $697, they get a ton of stuff. But I figure my goal by the end of next year is to have 1,000 people giving me $700 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I will have an amazing staff around that. I'll have another COO, and I'm doing exactly what I just got done telling you. I'm writing it all out. I'm building the structure. I'm understanding what I can handle and what I can't, and I'm slowly envisioning the vision and the dream of what my team looks like. And you got
Mm-hmm.
to act how you're going to become. So don't
Right.
say I'm too small for that now. That software is something I could grow into. There's never a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And the best time to get started is today. Everybody that listens, they go to these great seminars and they write a lot of notes. They don't do
Right.
anything with it. So what I would tell you is take what you learn, put it in Google Calendar, and
Mm-hmm.
execute it today. There's no better time than now. I don't want to hear how you can't do it till next week, or you got to start your diet in 2 months, or you're going
Right.
to quit smoking. It's never today. And if people just got up, got off their butts, and started working on the business, not in it, not doing all
Mm-hmm.
the labor, building policies, recognition of their employees who kick butt, study the avatar and the I always say I study the outliers,
Yeah.
and I get rid of one side of them, and then I make the training around the very, very best. And we ask a lot of questions of our customers. This is a beautiful home. How long have you lived here? Let me ask you something. What's going on with the garage door? When's the last time you had it looked at?
Yeah.
And when you go to the doctor, do they ask you questions? Do they take your blood pressure? Do they ask you your height? Do they check your weight? They ask you your symptoms? We're the doctor. We're Tiger Woods when he's on the golf course. The day I
Right.
walk into that garage, but I don't tell them. I ask them. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
consultant for them. And I say, did you know that the garage door is over 40% of your curb appeal? It's the only thing more than the bathroom in your kitchen that delivers 102% return on investment. It's the best investment you can make, and it's the
Right.
style of your home, baby. So let's get this
Mm-hmm.
bad boy done.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, it has a huge impact. A lot of people don't know that, and of course, being a real estate investor, I'm very familiar and know that there's huge curb appeal in the garage door. And we see it
You
here in
know,
Memphis. I mean, it gets missed because people get so hung up on the kitchen and, like you say, the bathroom, that sort of thing, the master bedroom.
yep,
But the
you're
garage door
absolutely
has a
right.
huge impact.
You know, it's interesting because I dated a girl for a long time, and she was in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
So she asked me to help her with lead gen, and I ended up building a business out of it called Lead LEAD Geeks, leadgeeks.com. And we've got a website called Highest Cash Offer. And we get over 200 leads per day of motivated sellers. It's me and Dustin's company now. Hillary and I are still good friends, but so people search sell my house fast or sell my house for cash. And we built a whole business on lead gen in the motivated seller space. And we have so much fun doing it. And it's very, very profitable because some of these leads, they pay anywhere from $150 to $500 per lead. But some of them, they'll have $60,000 of baked in equity. You're making 60 cents on they don't qualify to sell the home for FHA prices, and they're motivated. So, obviously these houses don't pass inspection or anything, but you're paying cash, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a fun business, man. I really,
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Tommy, man? You're building this. You talked about your goals for the end of the year, but what's next for you? Where do you see, yourself? I mean, you're a young guy, man. I mean, you got a long, pathway, a long thing to go, a long way to go. What's next for you?
You know, I'm 37. I'm not married and I don't have kids, so that's definitely something I'd like to do.
Sure.
But I like to travel. I like to teach. I'm I hate the people that teach that never really made it.
Yeah.
So I want to give back. I want to get way more involved in philanthropy.
Sure.
If I had done this in the garage door industry, I think I could do it in any industry. So I think there's a lot more building to do. There's only like 2,200 billionaires in the world, and I don't care. It's just it's for me now. It's more about going where no one's gone. It's a legacy. It's what are people going to say when I'm dead? Did I give back? And I think the next thing in my life is going to be figuring out how to give back to mankind. And I know that sounds stupid or cliche, but
No.
I really think we're going to do some big stuff. And my role models are guys like Elon Musk and Richard Branson, and they're working on SpaceX, and they're working on some really, really cool things that I think what's about to happen is exponential growth. And I'd love to be part of that. So we'll
Yeah.
see. But big things on the horizon.
Yeah, excellent, man. Excellent. And so the website for the company is a1garage.com.
A1garage.com, A1
Yeah.
from A1.
Yeah.
And, and then you can check out the Home Service Millionaire. If you want a free copy, it's $9 for shipping and handling, but it's a hard
Yeah.
homeservicemillionaire.com/free. Um,
Yeah.
and it's on
Awesome.
Audible. And believe it or not, I don't make crap. So you buy it on Audible, 70%
Yeah.
of it goes to Audible, which is fine, but I'm pretty
Right.
animated. I loved reading it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I love Audible because you can speed it up if you want. And I can
Yeah.
listen to a lot of the stuff at 2.0.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the best way to get me is. And then there's a free group. If
Yeah.
you go to Home Service Expert on Facebook, I've got a
Gotcha.
lot of people that are joining and a lot of free content there.
All right. Awesome. So MYB community, those are some great ways to connect with Tommy and an entire community out there. So I expect everyone to get out there and do it. Let Tommy know that you heard him right here on the Minding Your Business podcast here, episode number 189. Tommy, one last thing too. With A1, what markets are you in? Are you, kind of
So I'm
or
in,
states?
okay, let's go. Okay, so we're in Milwaukee, we're in Detroit, we are in Denver, we're in
Okay.
Oklahoma, we are in Tulsa, we're in Kansas, we're in Wichita, we're launching in Lincoln next month, we're in Boise, we're
Yeah.
all in Arizona, we're in Nevada, Las Vegas,
Gotcha.
we're in Albuquerque,
Yeah.
man, we're in South
I like
Washington.
those Midwest areas. There's some areas that I do business in, Lincoln, and they're in
Yeah,
Kansas,
you know
Kansas
what?
City. Yeah.
My whole plan is the smartest thing I did was get my manufacturer to the distribution center to carry all my inventory. So I go wherever they're at. So I got this plan to just spread out. I've got this huge map with the pins on where I'm going to grow to.
Wow.
And I'm super excited for that. So
Awesome. Awesome, man.
yeah,
Well,
A1garage.com. I got the federal trademark. No one really knows this yet, but get your trademarks done.
yes.
Get your trademark and patents, and because here's the thing, I've got the rights that's going to be uncontestable to A1, so I could go down and take over other websites. I could get you delisted off of Google. I could get you taken down off of Facebook. So be
Absolutely.
smart and get trademarks.
Yeah, that's a great best practice to wrap up on too, man. Is that get your trademarks, folks? Protect yourself. Protect your idea, protect your business, protect your brand. Listen, Tommy Mello's our guest today. Founder of A1 Garage. A1garage.com. You heard all the different websites. Definitely check him out on the podcast. We're going to have that link in the show notes. Make sure that you go and subscribe. Leave a 5-star positive review there and share it with your friends and family. It's a great way to get great content. And I'm a big advocate for all of our fellow podcasters. Tommy, man, listen, this has been tremendous, man. Thank you so much for taking time out to be a part of this episode. I've learned a ton. I think many people will learn a ton from this and look to remain connected, man.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
All right, man. Take care, Tommy. We'll see you later, buddy.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. All right. So that was Tommy Mello with A1 Garage Doors, which wasn't that was a great conversation, man. I like his style. I like, and some of you that are maybe not quite into that style of leadership, that drive for results. That's the type of drive that you have to have. That's the type of mentality you have to have when you're in business. And you heard that from Tommy, a guy that started out as a hustler, and took that same mentality into building his brand. No nonsense, no excuses. Just went to build it and just went for it. And you heard that he aspires, so he hangs around the people and drives towards the people that he will help him get to the next level. And we all need to do that. So that's a great feedback. And we all have to get past that. We have to stop giving excuses, stop putting things off for tomorrow, next week, next year, when the coronavirus goes away, when there's a vaccine. Listen, forget all that, right? Today's the day. Start today, right? So thank you so much, Tommy Mello. Great conversation, great leadership there in his company, and always look forward to more of what he's going to be doing here in the next several years. Listen, brandyourpod.com. Make sure you go there. Want to be your podcast partner, working with several companies, some individual influencers, I guess, if you want to say, individual brands. Want to be able to help you launch your podcast from the beginning idea generation all the way to the very end, to monetization if that's what you want to do, or connecting with your target audience. So go to brandyourpod.com. brooksbrothersconsulting.com/leverage. That's where you can sign up for the free demo for the financial software as a partner in Leverage. This is great software that will help you. It's cloud-based, but it'll conveniently help you be able to have a great conversation with your lender or your bank and know that you're approved prior to having the conversation with them. That goes a long way, folks. I'm just telling you. It goes a long way. Don't you hate going to your bank or lender and going through all the song and dance? Let me see your tax returns. Let me see your financials. Let me see this. And then just to get to the end and find out it's not the best terms or you don't get approved at all. No, that kind of sucks, right? So know that you're going to get approved. Take the time, go through the demo. We're going to have it live on Wednesday, August the 26th at noon Central Time. Register there at brooksbrothersconsulting.com/leverage. If you can't attend the live, just go ahead and register, and then that way you can get a copy of the demo once it is completed. All right. Listen, thanks again to my guest, Tommy Mello. Thank you all, MYB community, for your ongoing support of the podcast. And this has been episode number 189. Listen, go be great for yourself, be great for your family, be great for your community.